Welcome to our end of week news bulletin. I am Sergeant Faith Moy. The Kdf Weekly Bulletin is a show to keep you updated on events undertaken by the Ministry of Defense over the week. In our bulletin tonight, it's a final push against the Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Kenya Defense Forces airlifts teachers to schools in Boni. At last, water for DRC residents. Strengthening our cultural roots at the Joint Command and Staff College in Karen. Defense PS receives nautical charts of the Lamu Archipelago. And in sports, sugar too bitter for Ulinzi Stars. His Excellency Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, graced the summit of heads of states and the government of Somalia's brotherly neighboring countries in Mogadishu under the chairmanship of His Excellency Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, President of the Federal Republic of Somalia. During the summit, the leaders agreed to make the final push for joint operations in the areas that remain under the terrorists to completely liberate the whole of Somalia from Al-Shabaab to facilitate the drawdown of ATMIS troops and the gradual handover of security responsibilities to the Somali security forces. They applauded the significant progress made in Somalia, with more regions recovered by the Somali security forces in conjunction with ATMIS troops.
The summit was convened in the wake of the ongoing targeted and sustained campaign by the Somali security forces aimed at degrading the capability of the terrorist groups. The operations are directed at diminishing the operational capability of Al-Shabaab and building on the rejection of the terror group by the Somali public. In the discussion with the head of states, the Somali government sought to obtain both lethal and non-lethal support to equip the newly generated Somali security forces units and to enhance the firepower capabilities of current Somali security forces operational units, and endorsed Somalia's quest to completely lift the arms embargo by the end of 2023. They emphasized the importance of establishing a joint border security mechanism to eliminate cross-border terrorism activities and ensure the legal passage of trade and movement. The summit was attended by His Excellency Ismail Omar Gule, President of the Republic of Djibouti, and His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, the Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, among other leaders. Reporting for KDF News, my name is Sergeant Doreen Kerubo.
Following the reported attacks on civilians and the Congolese National Army in the areas of Ofai, Badimbesi, Sesa, and Indohu along Commander Beni Road by alleged Allied Defense Forces, the Kenyan Quick Reaction Force contingent deployed in the Democratic Republic of Congo under MONUSCO conducted dominating patrols to assess the situation, disrupt illegal armed groups, and reassure local population in the affected areas.
While on the patrol mission at Ofai Fadak camp, the patrol heard gunshots and responded immediately to establish what was happening. They found a number of civilians had been killed by the attackers, and there was a nursing mother together with an infant who sustained multiple gunshot wounds. The patrol managed to repel the attackers, administered first aid to the injured mother and her infant, and thereafter transferred them to a local health center for specialized treatment. Protection of civilians remains the paramount mandate for the Blue Helmets, and the Kenyan Quick Reaction Force has since intensified patrols in the area to deny the Allied Defense Forces freedom of movement and action, thereby stopping further atrocities.
Honorable Patrick Mariru, the Principal Secretary for the Ministry of Defense, held separate meetings with officials from the Management Consultancy Services Division State Department under the Ministry of Public Service and officials from the Kenya United States Liaison Office, also known as KUSLO. The meeting with the U.S. officials held substantive engagement on building the capacity of the civilian component of the ministry to enable them discharge their support and oversight roles more effectively and efficiently. Subsequently, the Ministry of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action officials, led by Dr. Florence Mwinde, held discussions on the modalities of having schemes of service for over 800 civilian staff from various cadres at the Ministry of Defense who had stagnated for lack of their schemes of service for career progression.
Patient, do you feel that you're also a patient person?
The the Ministry of Defense is partnering with KUSLO to identify priority areas of training for the civilian staff in a bid to enhance their skills and enable them to provide support and quality advice to the uniformed personnel. The PS affirmed that plans to develop the defense civilian policy were at an advanced stage, adding that benchmarking on civil-military relations is crucial in providing quality service in support of the defense forces. The forum precedes a one-week workshop between MOD departmental heads and U.S. officials to develop goals and come up with an outcome that shall ensure the success of capacity-building programs focused on civilian components. During the meeting with the officials from the Ministry of Public Services, the PS pointed out that having a clear scheme of service for the staff is essential to provide a clear roadmap for the separation of duties as well as enabling their career growth and progression in the public service. The PS Defense noted that the cadres such as safety equipment technicians, tailors, mortuary attendants, aircraft services technicians, and motor vehicle mechanics are critical in support of the military to discharge its constitutional mandate. National Defense University Kenya held its third regular council meeting today at Lanet in Nakuru. Speaking during the meeting, Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kibochi noted the milestones that have been accomplished, including the promulgations and implementation of statutes, policies and other vital instruments, the hiring of critical staff and rollout of programs alongside students' admissions. Further, he noted that the high point of these activities is the attainment of full operational capability, leading to successful inauguration of the university by the Chancellor on 3rd August 2022.
The council meeting recognized the dynamic character of the higher education and security environments to inform the context of strategic direction that will project the university in the desired trajectory. Lieutenant General John Amwangi, the Vice Chancellor, National Defense University Kenya, noted that plotting of statutes, regulations and guidelines has been underway in the last year, thus enabling the university, a pioneering institution, to gain better understanding of itself and operating environment. With the goodwill of the council and the Ministry of Defense, the university between September 2022 and 2023 conducted benchmarking with similar defense institutions in Islamic Republic of Pakistan and the United Kingdom of Malaysia. These study visits brought out the important lesson and better practices that will improve capacity building towards mission accomplishment as well as conforming the world of academia.
Honorable Aden Duale, Defense Cabinet Secretary, has today hosted officials from the Kenya United States Liaison Office, also known as KUSLO, led by Ms. Jessie Evans at the Defense Headquarters in Nairobi. The high-level meeting was a culmination of a week-long workshop for the heads of department in the ministry on the best practices for the civilian staff, even as they offer their technical support and oversight service to the ministry. CS Defense applauded the KUSLO delegation, saying the ministry is determined to motivate the civilian staff by ensuring their career progression and retention.
Honorable Duale affirmed that the ministry shall budget for the training and benchmarking of its civilian staff with other countries, saying that they offer critical services to the ministry. The CS acknowledged that the military has a history of a strong culture of efficiency, result-driven, and time consciousness, which he intends to see inculcated in all civilian staff across all cadres. On her part, Ms. Evans expressed her gratitude for the support, saying Kenya is among a pool of other 65 countries KUSLO is partnering with to enable the effective and efficient service delivery of the civilians working at the Ministry of Defense.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Lieutenant General Francis Ogola, the Vice Chief of Defense Forces, presided over the official opening of the meeting of commandants of East Africa Community Partner States Defense Forces Senior Command and Staff Colleges at the International Peace Support Training Center in Karen, Nairobi. The meeting was aimed at reviewing the status of cooperation in training, implementation of various decisions of the Sectoral Council on Partnership in Defense Matters, and progress made on academic capacity building of the military officers for command and staff colleges. In his remarks, Lieutenant General Ogola noted that the meeting is key to fostering bilateral and mutual relationships, emphasizing that military diplomacy helps build close ties between the partner states and strengthen strategic security relationships in addressing common security concerns.
Brigadier General Cassian Tasabera, the delegation chairperson and commandant of the Kinanira Senior Command and Staff College in Burundi, underlined the importance that the East Africa Community Partner States attach to the forum.
The Senior Command and the Staff College Kinanira has a set of objectives, including to prepare officers on the art of war and planning process and staff duties, to develop awareness on the changing roles of armed forces in support of national interests.
Additionally, Lieutenant General Ogola noted that the cooperation in training gives an insight into the available technology in a particular field and spurs the modernization of defense forces, as well as providing a benchmark to ascertain training standards with respect to other countries.
Your meeting as commandants of these respective command and staff colleges is key to fostering our bilateral and regional relationships. Military diplomacy has long been one of the essential constituents of international diplomacy, and military training cooperation is an essential component of military diplomacy.
The two-day meeting saw participants go through different presentations, reviewing and sharing experiences on how they conduct their academic programs to commence harmonization of the training curricula and possible exchange of students and directing staff. The meeting convened in accordance with Article 2 of the East African Community Protocol on cooperation in defense affairs and pursuant to the defense sector calendar of activities brought together delegates from 7 partner states that include Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, Rwanda, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, and the United Republic of Tanzania.
As learning in schools resumes countrywide, Kenya Defence Forces troops operating under Operation Amani Boni airlifted teachers to schools in Kiangwe, Milimani, Mangai and Basuba in Lamu County to aid smooth transition into the new term. In the exercise led by Colonel Joel Tanui, Commander Operation Amani Boni, the teachers expressed their gratitude to Kenya Defence Forces and other security agencies for transportation and security in the area.
Addressing the teachers before taking off, Colonel Tanui assured the teachers of their safety in their respective schools and the support of Operation Amani Boni not only in education but in other sectors as well. On her part, Riziki Daido, Teacher Service Commission Lamu County Director, expressed appreciation to Kenya Defence Forces for availing transport and the other multi-agency officials that provide security in their area of service. Additionally, she said processes are underway to see that more teachers are posted in Lamu County in the ongoing teachers recruitment. Operation Amani Boni has continued to offer support to the villages in Boni Forest by constructing classrooms, offering medical support, drilling boreholes, among others.
Honorable Aden Duale, the Cabinet Secretary for Defense, separately hosted the Italian Ambassador, His Excellency Roberto Natali, and the Swiss Armed Forces Director of International Relations, Brigadier General Marcus Madders, at the Defense Headquarters in Nairobi. The leaders discussed various issues on military cooperation between their states as well as peace, security, and stability of the countries. Troops deployed in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo restored water supply to residents of Kabaya, Biluma, Rumagambo, and other nearby villages in Rutshuru region. The soldiers repaired, serviced a fuel and a faulty generator in the area. The generator, pumping water from River Ndata, had been unserviceable for a long period, forcing locals to walk long distances to get the crucial commodity.
The troops also repaired damaged sections of the pipe supplying water from the river to the villages for maximum efficiency. This is in line with the East African Community Regional Force mandate of continued collaboration with locals in the ongoing peace and stability efforts in the DRC. The local residents thanked the East African Community Regional Force troops for their support in addition to the provision of security in the area. The troops are currently occupying Kibumba and Rumagambo in accordance with the Luanda communique that provided for occupation of areas vacated by M23.
The Joint Command and Staff College held its annual Cultural Day themed Celebrating Our Cultural Diversity for Common Global Good in Karen, Nairobi. Celebrations were marked by diverse presentations of traditional artifacts, traditional prepared food, and cultural dances that showcase the rich cultural diversity of course participants of different nationalities, cultures, and backgrounds.
The Joint Command and Staff College Cultural Day is a key occasion in the course curriculum that appreciates the role culture plays in enhancing regional peace and security. The celebration saw senior military officers drawn from Bangladesh, Botswana, Burundi, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Kenya, Namibia, Nepal, Nigeria, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zambia showcase their cultural diversity. Presiding over the event, Major General Eric Kinuthia, the Commandant, Joint Command and Staff College, highlighted that Cultural Day is an important event for the college as it serves as a strengthening factor in the midst of cultural diversities.
When we reflect on our culture in the African perspective, the AU Agenda 2063 Aspiration of 5 envisions an Africa with a strong cultural identity, common heritage, shared values and ethics.
He also noted that cultural galore is an opportunity to share the rich culture between African countries and Asian continents.
Honorable Patrick Mariru, Principal Secretary for the Ministry of Defense, received the nautical maritime charts of the Lamu Archipelago in Kenya from Her Excellency Namigia Kampa, the Indian High Commissioner to Kenya at the Defense Headquarters in Nairobi. The PS, who received the Indian official on behalf of Honorable Aden Duale, the Cabinet Secretary, registered his appreciation to the Indian entourage, saying the successful preparation of the charts is a culmination of joint cooperation and partnership dating back to 2014 when the initiative was launched.
In the meeting, the PS underscored the need for the two countries to explore joint partnership in space exploration, modernization of the KDF infrastructure and equipment, as well as shipbuilding for the mutual benefit of the citizens of the two countries.
We are very happy about the cooperation and the relationship we have between India and ourselves. Right. And you affirmed that during the meeting with the CS, you affirmed that during the meeting with the CDF.
On her part, the High Commissioner thanked Kenya for remaining a long-time and resilient partner, apart from being a maritime neighbor sharing the Indian Ocean waters.
I think it behoves our historical relationship to also see how we can expand cooperation in that area. Yeah. And what we are doing today and what we are marking today is a small step in that direction. Yeah. Yeah.
She affirmed that the two partner states shall continue to consolidate efforts in all areas of convergence and scale up cooperation and exchanges. Kenya and India have various memoranda of understanding, including Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the Field of Defense, Memorandum of Understanding on Sharing White Shipping Information between the Indian Navy and Kenya Defense Forces, among others.
And in sports, Nzoia Football Club bagged maximum points after stunning Ulinzi Stars with a 2-1 defeat in a thrilling match at Ulinzi Sports Complex, Langata. Both teams missed scoring in the first half, ending with a barren draw. The second half bore goals for both teams after Ulinzi's Boniface Mushiri scored in the 67th minute. Nzoia made an excellent comeback, emerging the winners of the match with 2 goals at the 82nd and 87th minute. The unprecedented defeat leaves Ulinzi Stars at position 6 in the Kenya Premier League, while Nzoia Football Club tops the table. Thank you for watching. We look forward to your feedback via our official social media handles and your viewership next Friday for the KDF Weekly News Bulletin. Goodbye.